I came home to an empty house and a blinking message on my phone. Running late. Don't wait up. It was the third late night in a row. I set 2 plates anyway. Habit. I seared chicken, roasted broccoli, poured sparkling water, and let the TV murmur in the background. 10 came and went. At 11, I wrapped her plate. At 1, the front door finally clicked. She breezed in with nightclub hair and that clean, expensive men's cologne that never lives in our house. Smells like a guy walked by and just doused me, she joked, tossing her purse on a chair. Right. A stranger with a perfume cannon, I answered, lifting the foil on her plate. Chicken's cold. She grinned like I'd said something cute. It was a work thing, Ben. Big client. We're under the gun. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have left that night. I didn't. Not because I'm naive, because I give one chance to honesty. 1. The next evening I got home first again. I changed the light bulb over the sink, stacked the mail, and tidied her shoes by the door because I like order. At 7:20 she was still at the office. I heard her key in the lock at 8. She beelined to the bedroom, phone pressed to her ear. The door clicked shut. That was new. I leaned in the hall to grab the laundry basket and caught the words through the door. No, he's home. I'll text you later. She came out with her work smile, the one that sells things. Rough client, she said, straightening the frame on the hallway photo like nothing happened. Then we'll keep it simple, I told her. New rule. If you're late, I eat. If you get calls at home, speaker, or outside. If there's a work event and you say 10, I pick you up at 10. Her eyes narrowed, polite. You're setting rules now? I'm setting boundaries, I corrected. So I don't cook for a ghost. She laughed once. You're being dramatic. Or just efficient. The neighbor, Liam, an older guy who walks his dog at weird hours, passed the open door and waved. Evening, folks. I nodded. Hey, Liam. I kept my eyes on her. That was deliberate. Witnesses matter when the narrative starts getting creative. Fine, she said, grabbing a glass from the cabinet. We'll do it your way. We sat. She pecked at dinner, phone face up next to her fork like a third-place setting. I'll grab you Friday at 10, I reminded her. We'll see. There might be a post-event. I can't control that. You can control your promises. She looked past me. You're making this heavier than it is. The only thing heavy here is your schedule, I said, clearing plates. She drifted into the bedroom again, door closing with that careful click. I heard her voice drop low. The phrase later tonight floated out like a radio on the next block. I started scrubbing the pan harder than necessary. She came back, ponytail up, the smile reinstalled. You okay? She tried. Perfect, I said. Calendar's on the fridge. My rules are written there in case memory goes fuzzy. Her eyebrow rose. You wrote them? Clarity saves arguments. She poured wine, took one sip, set it down. Her phone lit up. I have to take this. Outside. I gestured. She paused. Really? That's what we agreed. She went out to the porch. I rinsed 2 glasses and told myself I wasn't the jealous type. I'm not. I'm the respect type. Friday I left work early, picked up dry cleaning, and swung by her agency with a coffee and a sandwich because I'm not here to sabotage. I'm here to be an adult. The lobby buzzed with people in nice shoes. A guy in a tailored shirt, Tyler, from what I overheard at a barbecue once, came out laughing with 2 assistants. He clocked the bag in my hand. Hero delivery, he said, breezy. Just a sandwich, I answered flat. For my wife. Right, he smiled. Savannah's upstairs. Big day. Savannah came down with a stack of folders. She spotted me and made a face meant for friends, not spouses. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to, I replied, handing her the bag. Tyler leaned on the front desk like he'd practiced the angle. We're stealing her for the night, man. Giant client. If she comes back without a voice, it's on us. 10, I told her. Out front. I'll be here. Savannah rolled her eyes at Tyler. See? He's punctual. Punctual's underrated, I said. She kissed my cheek without meeting my eyes. Thanks for the coffee. A receptionist named Dana watched like it was her show. People always watch when power shifts. Savannah headed back upstairs, and I stood there, hand on the door. Tyler laughed to Dana. Lo, if we survive tonight, we deserve medals. Or a vacation. I stepped closer. Make sure you all deserve whatever you think you do. His smile thinned. Of course. By 9:50, I was back in front of the agency. 10 rolled past. I texted, "Front." She replied, "Running behind. Don't wait up." I wrote, "We agreed." Then I put the phone down and waited 10 more minutes, because I give a grace period. 10 turned into 11. I left. My boundary wasn't a suggestion. At midnight, the door at home was still quiet. At 1, same story. When she finally came in, she was laughing at something on her phone and smelling like a men's counter at a department store. "You missed 10 by 3 hours," I said. She tapped her screen. Then, the timeline exploded. Nobody could leave. Also, someone must have walked by with, I don't know, cologne. It happens. That's not how smell works. She shrugged, going toward the shower. "You're taking this personally." "I'm taking it literally." She called from the bathroom, voice bouncing off tile. "You're welcome to come to the next one. It's just they're long." "Good," I answered. "Because next time, I'm driving you. I'm waiting, and we're leaving together, on time. Or you aren't going." Water hammered. "You can't tell me. I can tell you what I'll participate in." That's the beauty of boundaries. She came out wrapped in a towel, hair up. "I'm wiped. Can we not do this?" "We're not doing anything. We're adjusting." She rolled into bed, phone in hand. It kept lighting up. She kept turning it face down. In the morning, she was sunshine. Eggs on the stove, a note. "Sorry. You're right. We'll plan better." That was the first soft turn. A friendly coat of paint over a cracked wall. I thanked her and kept my plan anyway. That afternoon, I moved my direct deposit to my individual account and left our joint account stocked with a predictable amount for household bills only. I put it in writing on the fridge: rent, utilities, groceries. Everything else, separate. That wasn't punishment. It was me stepping out of gray fog. When she got home early, another surprise, she pressed a kiss to my shoulder while I chopped vegetables. "I booked us a day trip in 2 weeks," she said. "My treat. I want us to reconnect." "That's good," I replied, sliding peppers into the pan. "It'll be easier with clear rules." Her jaw ticked, subtle. "You're really serious about the money thing?" "I'm serious about not funding vagueness." She laughed without humor. "Wow. Get used to wow." We ate. She talked about a big pitch coming. I listened and didn't chase. She noticed the difference. She always liked being chased. The next week, the tension went from a background hum to an alarm clock. More closed doors. More "I'll text later." More "don't wait up." Less eye contact at home. More performative sweetness in public. We went to our neighbor's barbecue that Saturday. She put on that bright persona, clung to my arm like a prop, then drifted to a circle of people telling stories about late nights at the office. "Savannah's our MVP," Tyler announced from across the yard, loud enough for the tables to hear. "She practically lives at work." Laughter. I took a sip of my drink and kept my face bored. Liam raised an eyebrow at me from his lawn chair. "Man knows what he's doing," he muttered to another guy. "People notice more than you think." On Sunday, she arranged self-care. I changed the oil in my truck, cleaned out the garage, and boxed up the closet shelf she kept meaning to sort. I labeled it with a sticky, "Your keepsakes." Not a threat, a courtesy and a hint. Start thinking in terms of mine and yours. Then came the night that settled everything. At 2:30 a.m. my phone lit up. "Wife." I answered. Her breath was rushed. "Baby, I'm still at work. The report's on fire. Don't wait." In the background, a male voice, half whispered, amused, "He's never going to buy that." I smiled into the dark. He's right. I don't. I ended the call. No threats. No speeches. I went to my settings and blocked the number. I put the phone face down, sat up, and looked at the bedroom door like it was just a door, not a door to my life. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. The night was a clean slate. I stood, walked to the guest room, opened the suitcase I keep for quick trips, and folded a week of clothes into it. I moved my toiletries to the hall bath. I changed the code on the door and sent myself a screenshot so I wouldn't forget. I logged into our streaming accounts and turned off all my automatically signed-in devices. Then I updated my emergency contacts at work and removed her name. Actions, not noise. 30 minutes later, the key turned in the lock. The knob met the deadbolt. She fumbled, knocked, then hit the doorbell like a telemarketer. I opened the door and stepped aside. She stood there pale and wide-eyed. Why aren't you answering? She demanded, and then caught herself. Softer. I was worried. Were you? I asked, neutral. It's not what you heard. That was... I can explain. I don't need it explained. Ben, please. Bathroom's down the hall, I said. Guest towels are clean. She blinked. You blocked me. Yes. Are you serious right now? Very. I walked to the bedroom. She followed on quiet feet, like the floor might punish her. I took my suit from the closet and laid it on the bed. She hovered at the doorway. I'm not the enemy, she tried. I didn't say you were. I said, folding a tie. I said I'm done negotiating respect. You're overreacting. I nodded at the clock. It's 3 in the morning. I'm not reacting at all. I'm acting. She reached for my sleeve. I lifted my arm out of reach like you do when a cat tries to climb your leg. Don't be like this, she said, voice wobbling. Like what? Clear. Her chin dipped. I'll sleep on the couch. You'll sleep wherever you like, I answered. In the morning, you'll pack a bag. You'll stay at Jenna's or a hotel. I won't debate it. Why should I leave? She found a little spark. This is my house too. Because I didn't spend the last month building a double life, I replied. And because I'm not moving out of a home I built and pay for. She swallowed. You're cruel. No, I'm clean. She slept on the couch, or pretended to. The house was quiet in that heavy way when people are awake and thinking. Dawn came without ceremony. I brewed coffee and made eggs. She patted in with her hair up and her carefully bare face. She tried a new tactic. Let's reset, she said, barely above a whisper. I messed up. I've been pulled in 1,000 directions. I'll cut back. I'll show you. That's good, I replied, sliding a plate toward her. Cut back somewhere else. You're throwing us away. I'm throwing away manipulation. We'll see what's left. She stared at the eggs. I can't believe you blocked me. Believe it. I went to work. At lunch, I walked 3 blocks to a notary near my office and started the paperwork to end it. No saga. No drama. I filled out forms, signed where they told me, and sent the packet by certified mail. My hand didn't shake. My thinking didn't buzz. It felt like sorting tools back onto a pegboard after someone threw them all over the garage. When I got home that evening, she was waiting with the second soft turn. Candles, a roast in the oven, our wedding playlist humming low. She wore that sweater I always said looked good on her. She moved toward me like we were in a commercial, eyes glossy, palms open. I booked us a counselor, she said. 2 sessions. I want to do the work. I already did mine, I answered, hanging my jacket. Which is what? Ending it. She laughed, sharp, then softened instantly. No, Ben, don't do this. We can fix it. We can't fix respect. It's binary. You're making a mistake. I don't make many. She searched my face. Is it because of what you think you heard? Because. It's because of everything I heard and everything I didn't need to. Because of doors. Because of time. Because of smells that don't come from nothing. Because of stories that change mid-sentence. She moved closer. Do you remember when we started? You said I was the brightest thing in the room. I'm still that. You're bright, I said. But I'm done getting sunburned. The oven timer dinged. She jumped. I didn't sit. I took my suitcase from the guest room and set it by the door. Her face crumpled at the sight of it, then smoothed out like she'd practiced that too. Where are you going? She asked. Nowhere, I said. I'm letting you go. In the morning, she did pack. She called Jenna, who showed up in yoga pants and the expression friends wear when they're prepping for a scene. Jenna looked around at our neat house like it had wronged her. You're really kicking her out? She challenged. I'm asking her to leave a situation she broke, I answered, carrying a box to the door. People make mistakes, Jenna pushed. Consequences aren't cruelty, I said. Savannah reached for my arm. Can I talk to you alone? You can talk right here. She glanced at Jenna, then back at me. Please, just a minute. I shook my head. I'm done with rooms that close. I put her suitcase by the porch and handed her an envelope with a list. Bills covered, items that are hers, the date to come for the rest with someone else present. She scanned the paper, stunned. You really wrote it all out, she whispered. Clarity. I hate this version of you. This is the only version there is, I said. The rest was goodwill. She left with Jenna, crying in private and rigid in public. I went to the gym. I went back to work. I slept like a man who returned to the right size of bed. 2 days later, I walked into my friend Marcus's shop. He's a barber with a couch in the back and opinions he's not afraid to share. I like the white noise of clippers when life gets loud. He had my hairline, then my face. "You look lighter," he said, draping the cape. "House is quieter," I replied. Halfway through the cut, the bell over the door rang. Savannah walked in holding a bakery box. Marcus shot me a look in the mirror. She smiled for the room. "Brought pastries. Peace offering." Marcus stepped back. "This isn't my fight, but my chairs are neutral. Keep it calm." She set the box on the counter. "I'm sorry for everything. I was spread thin and stupid and unkind. I want to fix this." "You brought muffins to a boundary," I said. "Wrong currency. We've had years together. And I'm not throwing those years in the trash," I said. "I'm setting them on a shelf where they belong and walking forward." Marcus lifted a brow behind me. "That's a line," he murmured, approving. She raised her chin. "You could at least talk to me privately." "No," I answered. "I'm done with privacy where the story changes. If you've got something to say it with witnesses." She flushed. "You're punishing me." "I'm protecting me." The door opened again. A couple guys from the firehouse came in, laughing about something. The room grew crowded and normal. Savannah looked at the box like it could fix anything and understood it couldn't. She left it and went out without another word. Marcus cleaned up my neckline. "You good?" "Better," I said. "Then hold that line," he advised. "Spaces get messy when you let the wrong person rearrange furniture." The next morning, a courier knocked at my door with a stamped packet. It was surprisingly thin. I signed, thanked him, and slid the file into a drawer. Done as a fact, not a speech. Savannah called from an unknown number. I didn't answer. She texted from another. I replied once. "Communicate only about logistics. Tuesday noon to pick up your stuff. Bring someone." She wrote paragraphs that danced around accountability without touching it. I didn't read past the first lines. When Tuesday came, she arrived with Tyler. Of course she did. They stood in my doorway like a team. Tyler's shirt was ironed within an inch of its life. He gave me a handshake like he'd practiced it in management training. "Here for boxes," he said, cheerful. "You can wait on the porch," I told him. "She knows where her things are." Savannah frowned. "He's here to help." I didn't ask for help. Tyler looked around at the neighborhood like he might buy it. "Man, this place is nice. Great lawn." "Keys," I said to her. She blinked. "What?" "House key. Spare fob. Garage opener. People think they'll get a goodbye. What they get is a checklist." She reached into her purse and set them in my palm. I walked to the kitchen, pulled a small envelope from the drawer, and slid them in. I wrote her name on the front. It wasn't for her, it was for me. I like completion. Tyler tried for a laugh. "No hard feelings, yeah? Work gets crazy." "Work doesn't make people dishonest," I answered. "They do that all by themselves." Savannah stiffened. "You can't talk to me like I can talk to you like I'm not confused anymore." She moved down the hall gathering framed photos, a vase she loved, a box of old cards. I didn't linger. I went to the porch and leaned on the railing. Liam, walking his dog, paused. "You all right?" he asked. "Better every hour," I told him. Inside, Tyler whispered something. Savannah whispered back. Boxes thumped. She came out with the last one, set it by the door, and looked at me like we were at a movie where the audience was supposed to cry. "You're really done," she said as if testing. "I was done the night the background voice answered for you." Her jaw clenched. "You misheard." "I didn't," I replied. "And I didn't need to." The pattern spoke louder. Tyler reached for the last box. I put a hand on it and held his gaze until he let go. "She can carry that one." Savannah lifted it, cheeks coloring. "Are you happy now?" "I'm free." She stood there, wanting a scene I wouldn't give her. I opened the door, pointed her inside to grab the envelope with the key, then pointed her back out. She left with her arms full and her mouth empty. Tyler trailed, no jokes left. That night the house felt like mine again. Quiet, square enough. I ate a steak at the table with one plate and didn't have to defend the time it took to cook it. I didn't scroll. I didn't pace. I mapped out my next months. Over time, while the big project at my firm ramped up, weekends on the lake with my buddy Nate's boat, a coat of paint in the hallway, new tires, a better lock on the back gate. Simple. Savannah tried one more swing a week later. She showed up at my office lobby in a dress like a pitch. She held her phone in front of her chest like a shield. "Can we talk for 5 minutes?" she asked the receptionist first, testing the waters. The receptionist glanced at me. Do you want to? No, I replied. Savannah moved closer anyway. Ben, please. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. You're describing consequences, I said. Is there someone else? Respect is someone else. She exhaled hard. If you walk away now, you'll regret it. I checked my watch. I regret not leaving sooner. 2 coworkers walked through the lobby doors. One of them was my project lead, a guy who expects focus. He took in the scene with a quick look. I lifted my hand toward him. Give me 30 seconds. He nodded. Savannah followed my eyes and realized she had an audience again. She tried to spin it. Ben and I are just working through a misunderstanding, she told them. We're not, I answered. Her smile froze. She reached into her purse, then thought better of whatever was in her hand. What will people think? She whispered. They'll think the truth if you let them. I held out my palm. The last thing. Your name on the insurance. I removed it. Here's the notice. You're covered through the end of the month. She took the paper like it burned. You planned all this. I planned clarity the minute you made it necessary. What do you want me to say? Nothing, I replied. You don't owe me words. You owe me absence. She stared at me, then at my lead, then back at me. You're colder than I thought. I'm exact. I walked away. She didn't follow. She liked control. She hated definitions. The definition was final. Here's the part movies never show. Life after the line. My days got obvious again. Coffee at 6, gym at 7, work till 6, salmon and rice, a book, sleep. The promotion came faster because I wasn't stuck in a fight with the thermostat of my own house. I changed the living room rug because I never liked the old one. I bought a used SUV because I needed space for the projects I put off when I was too busy trying to be understanding. The garage turned into a clean, efficient grid with all my tools exactly where my hands expect them. 2 months in, I met Claire at the hardware store. She asked me about drill bits and actually listened to the answer. We got tacos from a truck near the park, and not once did she put her phone face down on the table like it was a second date. We didn't rush. I didn't perform. I showed up as I am. She seemed to like that man. I hear things secondhand. Jenna told someone who told Liam that Savannah moved into a studio on the other side of town. That the agency let go of half the team after the big client cut their budget. That she switched jobs twice. That the circles she used to hold court and got smaller. None of it made me light candles. It just made sense. You live by optics. You drown when the lens turns. The last message I received from Savannah was a simple line from a new number. I still think we could have made it. I stared at it and put the phone down. Then I wrote one sentence and hit send. We could have, if respect had been invited. And that was that. I didn't block the number. I didn't need to. Silence did the rest. People ask how you know when to end it. Here's my answer. The one I give Marcus when he passes me the mirror after a cut, and we both pretend I've aged well. You know when you stop arguing with proof. The proof isn't always a smoking gun. Sometimes it's a month of locked doors, a joke that's too smooth, a smell that doesn't belong, a whisper in the background at 2:30 a.m. That whisper was my gift. It saved me from debating feelings with a woman who had already made a different set of promises somewhere else. My final words to her, in our house, with the suitcase by the door, were simple because I don't write speeches. I picked up the bag, set it down, looked at her, and said, why would I leave my home? I didn't spend my nights writing stories for strangers. You did. So you go. She left. I stayed. I built. Now I'm busy. That's what a good life is. Full calendar, quiet house, honest company. The version of me that tolerated smoke alarms going off while someone smiled and told me it was just toast burning, he's retired. The man who reads the room and names the smell, he's in charge. That's the whole story. Not tragic. Not romantic. Just a door closing at the time it should have closed, with me on the right side, and the rest of my life finally fitting again.